Last evening when the Mariners were driving by the Oakland Coliseum, the Network Associates Coliseum, that upper deck was teeming with football fans. And still there are some of the remnants of the football game here last night between the Oakland Raiders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's amazing that they've got it ready already. A look at the West as we go into the final week of the regular season campaign. The A's, yes, they are still number one, although they haven't played that well lately. A game up on the Angels and 2 up on the Texas Rangers, who are meeting each other tonight. And in the 8th inning, the Angels have taken a 4-3 lead over the Texas Rangers. My, oh my, what a race we do have. To you all, a very pleasant good evening, everybody. Dave Niehaus along with Dave Henderson. Nice to have Hendu back in his old haunts down here in the Bay Area. Certainly the story for the Mariners lately, besides winning a few ball games, the story right now is Ichiro Hendu. And it all started on Friday night as he makes a run. He had hit number 248.
Well, as we take a look, here's 248. A chopper to the first baseman, Chisera, right there. A little bit too slow. Takes a swipe at Ichiro. Safe for number 248. He looks calm, cool, and collective over there, searching for that record.
John Watson was the victim the next time. A ground ball right back up the middle. In the 6th inning, the M's win that ball game by a score of 8-7 on Friday night, and then a big historic one.
Hey, 250. You've seen this before. Ichiro right back up the middle, and we've seen him do that a lot. He goes over there. Look at his face, like he's just another base hit, another walk in the park.
A mental barrier to get over, and he got over it as Cameron Lowe, yesterday, a line drive base hit to left field, serves up number 251 as the Mariners knock off Texas by a score of 9-0 and win that series 2-1. That's on our chart. Ichiro at 251. Only Aloysius Simmons, Bill Terry, Lefty O'Doul, and Gorgeous George are in front of him. He needs 6 to tie and 7 to get the record. It's going to be a fun week. A little on the cool side down here in Oakland tonight as Jamie Moyer tries to win his 2nd game in a row. The Mariners and the Oakland A's, nice to have you with us. We'll be back with the starting lineup right after this timeout. And welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum, the Network Associates Coliseum. Home plate umpire Jeff Kellogg, just as Zito was ready to throw the first pitch, went out and said, no, you can't use that baseball. I've got some special baseballs for you to use when you pitch to Ichiro, or whoever may pitch to Ichiro all night long. And he made sure he had one of those marked baseballs. And here we are getting underway, and the first pitch is high from Zito, ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Ichiro, there's what he has done against Barry Zito. Certainly a very respectable career batting average against Barry Zito. And he pulls this one up the first baseline foul. Another look at that previous note.
Yeah,
on a pace for
386 average, 17 for 44. And you see that 30 more at-bats, and he only needs to hit 233 to reach 258, so he can do that pretty easily.
Fastball fouled at the plate. There was a lady by the name of Linda Pantel from Major League Baseball in Texas who was giving the home plate umpire the specially marked baseballs, S1 through S60. And there's a gentleman here tonight by the name of Dan Mullen who is taking that task over from Major League Baseball. Curveball popped up on the third base side, and right there to make the easy play is the third baseman. No problem at all for Eric Chavez.
And Dave, we'll take a look at the batting order. Ichiro, of course, you saw him pop out. Wynn Martinez, Ibanez Boone, Cabrera at third base, Lopez Wilson, and Bloomquist.
And Randy Wynn will be the hitter. Randy, who hails from this area, the Bay Area, just been sitting right around that 290 area for the last couple of weeks. And I have an idea that he's going to break that barrier before the season comes to an end next Sunday at Safeco Field. The Texas Rangers, the Oakland Athletics, we are in a different town. Sometimes during the course of a long baseball season, forget what town you're in.
Start to run together, Dave.
It is high towering fly ball into right field. And an easy play for Jermaine Dye. The Oakland Athletics have lost 5 of their last 6 ball games.
Well, in losing 5 of those ball games, you see the dominating curveball, that downward tilt, that's his out pitch, and a fastball 89 to 92, and we talked about his fastball going down at the end of the year, so he'll stay away from that fastball and go with that overhand breaking ball when he needs an out.
Edgar Martinez beginning the final week of his brilliant career. Taking a strike, and the man calling balls and strikes is Jeff Keloff tonight. There's that big yacker right at the knee. Fastball a little bit outside. Damian Miller's the man doing the catching this evening. High fastball that time.
Well, Dave, when you start to lose 5 out of 6 of your ball games and you go into a little tail spin at the end of the year, everybody starts talking about how tight you are, your nerves, how do you handle the pressure, and you start seeing that go through the Oakland A's clubhouse, and that's a bad sign.
That cutter just missed inside. Zito, 26 years of age. And there it is. Yeah. Couldn't pull the trigger on it. Big curveball, man. He's got one of the best in the business. Broke right over the inside part of the plate. And here in the first inning, the Mariners go in order against Zito. And the A's coming up against Jamie Moyer. On a career-high 13-game hitting streak, stepping in to lead it off. Make it a 14-game hitting streak. That hanging breaking ball right up in his eyes. So Gotze first pitch swinging.
Yeah, that's one thing. Get rid of the jitters and the nerves of everybody. You don't go out there afraid to make an out. Gotze lets everybody in the dugout know, I'm ready to play. Breaking ball, first pitch from Jamie Moyer. He jumps all over it. Normally a guy won't swing at a breaking ball the first pitch. Take a look at it.
Eric Burns, the left fielder, the hitter. This traditionally has been the toughest place in the league for the Mariners to win ball games. And yet, up pops a note tonight. You forget how well the Mariners have played here since 2000. Breaking ball is down low. The A's lead this series 9-6, and they need one more win to clinch their first season series win over the Mariners since 2000. Just inside. And Moyer's got to have the corners if he's to be effective.
When you say corners, you mean the ball slicing off the corners 2 or 3 inches, and Kellogg has to give him that pitch or he has to get more of the plate, and once you throw it over the plate, hitters can hit strikes.
Strike.
His most effective pitches are the ones that start on the outside corner, inside corner, and end up off the plate. Tough to get to for a hitter, but as anybody out there play baseball knows, if they throw it over the plate, you got a better chance.
Got that ball down. 2-2. Moyer looking for his 293rd career victory. 193.
I was going to say, wait a minute, Dave.
Yeah, 190.
You're sticking him in the Hall of Fame. 193.
Yeah.
Cabrera having a little fun with the stands and goes over there and gets some peanuts out of the stands. Nice and relaxed. Of course, Oakland, you get to loosen up your legs when you go for a foul ball in this park. One of the biggest in Major League Baseball. All the spaces foul ground. Takes a lot of points off your average through the course of the year.
Breaking ball, line drive, right up the ladder is Jose Lopez. One-handed swing that time by Eric Burns.
How about we take a look at the Oakland A's lineup? We saw Kotze, he got a base hit. Eric Burns right there. Chavez, Durazo, Jermaine Dye back into the lineup. Hatterberg, Scudero, Crosby, and Miller rounds it out for the Oakland A's. You look at Jamie Moyer facing this lineup. Great off-speed pitches. We're talking about the changeups, the variety of changeups and location. And he's got to have location. We stress that. He's got to know where it's going.
Eric Chavez has hit a half a dozen home runs off of it. A 5-game hitting streak. That's going to be back into the stands. A little bit surprised at the crowd tonight. Not that many people here. Here's a ball club that has been sitting atop the West for over 50 days now, although the lead is whittled down to 1 game. It's pennant chase time here, and this is the final week of regular season play, and the A's will spend the final week here at home. Broken bat, base hit into right field. So 2 ons.
You talked about that crowd, and the crowd was at the Raider game last night. Look at this fastball inside on Chavez right there and broke his bat. Ichiro coming in. See the lines on the field? It's going to be a little choppy out there. Football players, 300-pounders been running around there with cleats on, so Ichiro has to be very careful when he comes up to that ball and get a good hop.
Well, the stands, which extend all the way out into mid-center field here, when the football configuration is here, you can see the demarcation out there, the light green against the brown. Those stands have been down for 2 weeks because the Raiders have had 2 straight home games, and it has just practically killed the grass out there. Rabio Durazo's the hitter. Tampa Bay last night, and the Raiders beat up on them, and it was Buffalo, the Bills, 8 days ago. Two and oh.
Jamie has to be very careful with this pitch. Durazo with 22 home runs, a lot of power.
Another base hit hard, a line drive into right field. Kotze to third base. It will hold him up as Ichiro with that rifle gets it back in to Bloomquist, and the bases are loaded.
And that surprises me a little bit. Ron Washington, the third base coach, holds up Kotze. He's your center fielder. He's the guy who supposedly can score on a ground ball. This ball was hit hard to Ichiro. He has to hesitate a little bit because of the surface out there in the outfield. You can't assume he's going to get a good hop, and that'll give the base runner a couple of extra steps. Ron Washington decided to hold up Kotze.
Well, here's Jermaine Dye, who historically has not hit Moyer that well. Had the bad thumb, and he takes a strike, 0-1. In the dirt.
Jermaine Dye been a very hot hitter of late. Of course, we always talk about the 9th inning, but the 1st inning can be just important. A big hit here.
Up and in.
I think Jamie realizes that he doesn't want this ball game to get away from him in the 1st. Put the Mariners down a few runs. Always looking for that off-speed pitch change up to get him out of the inning. Double play ball.
Change in a towering high fly ball hit to left field. Long run for Banez to get into foul territory, into the bullpen. Makes the catch, and the throw comes to the plate, and it hits the runner. So a sacrifice fly, 1-0. And alertly, Eric Chavez moves down to third base.
Now I see Ibanez, the wind blowing the ball toward home plate. He gets under it, but he has a crisscross action where the runner goes in between the catcher, hits Katse in the back, and it's one of those things where this is a pitch right down the middle where Jermaine Dye thought he should have hit it out of the ballpark. Jamie goes back behind the plate, getting into defensive position in case of the overthrow. And look at him bounce around. He knows he has to cover home plate. If Dan has to get the ball, hollers to him, I got it.
That pitch is belted deep to right field by Henderson, and Ichiro right up against the wall makes the catch to retire the side. Henderson 0 for his last 11 now, almost hit it out. But the A's get only the 1, and it's 1-0. And welcome back, where it's a 1-0 ball game in favor of the Oakland Athletics in Texas. Angels leading it 4-3 in the 9th inning there. And Boston wins. Thus, Texas is eliminated from the wild card race as Boston knocks off Tampa Bay 7-3. Raul Ibanez, who's been red hot, taking his strike.
Well, I think as you go to face Barry Zito, one thing you got to realize as a hitter, does he have his curveball today? He threw a strike 3 to Edgar Martinez, but not been too consistent with that breaking ball.
Zito had a terrible first half. And then, of course, he's former Cy Young Award winner from a couple years ago and has gotten it turned around here in the second half. So down on strikes is Ibanez.
And Dave, every at-bat dictates around his curveball. If he can get you at the plate looking for that big overhand curveball, that 89, 90-mile-an-hour fastball can get by you.
Well, you know it's getting near playoff time when the Yankees send 3 scouts to a game. And Booney sends a towering fly ball to center field. Katse is there to make the catch. And the Yankees have 3 scouts here, including their assistant general manager, Gene Michael, the stick. Time now for our text messaging trivia contest. Tonight's question: whose trade for the Mariners was contingent on Lou Piniella going to Tampa Bay? A, Randy Wynn. B, Raul Ibanez. C, Eddie Guardado. Is out of play on your cell phone. Select text messaging, type A, B, or C, and send to number 86212. Complete rules, you'll log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost 50 cents. There's a fly ball to right field off the bat of Hobert Cabrera, and up against the wall to make the catch is Jermaine Dye to retire the side. So 3 up and 3 down here in the second, and it's 1-0 Oakland.
Tickets and a list of prize giveaways, you visit SeattleMariners.com.
So here we go with Marco Scudero leading it off. There in the ninth, Anaheim has added one more, and they lead it 5-3 over Texas. The Angels only one game back. Took a lot of guts down there in Anaheim to suspend Jose Guillen for the rest of the year, including the playoffs. And
well, we saw the replay of him getting upset when he got pinched, ran for, and had some conversations, but
had to be more.
Usually you have to do a little bit more than that to a manager and an organization to get suspended for the rest of the year. I'm sure the story will come out, but their second best RBI guy.
So right on that one is Marco Scudero, and for the second consecutive inning, a line drive base hit to begin it for the A's.
Well, you might look at that as a bad thing, but I look at that as a good thing for Jamie Moyer. Those pitches are getting hit for singles. Of course, he has 41 home runs. We look at the location. This is supposed to be inside. This ball is out over the plate, and Jamie makes a big mistake, but it's only a single. He knows he made a mistake, but to get away with a single when you throw it out over the plate, that's a good thing in my book.
Here's Bobby Crosby. Pretty much a consensus that this young man will be Rookie of the Year in the American League. Home run leader among rookies. He's 9 ahead of John Buck of the Kansas City Royals. Of course, Bucky on the shelf for the rest of the year. Hope that knee is coming along fine, Bucky. Hope you're tuned in tonight. We miss you.
Yeah, you never know. At the pace Bucky was going on, he had a chance to get him. 9 home runs in, a little over a month. So he's trying to get healthy for next year so you can see him in action for 162.
Bobby Crosby, the man at the plate, and Jeremy Reed, the rookie outfielder for the Mariners, who's on the bench tonight, were teammates and roommates at Long Beach State. They lived together for a couple of years and spent the All-Star break this season together playing golf. Curveball down low.
Now, as a young player, you're always looking for your opportunity. There's Jeremy Reed. Right there by Bobby Mandrick.
Yeah, he's hitting 10 of his last 11 games.
Well, one of the hurdles of being a major leaguer is once you do get here, you have some success. You got to prove that it's no fluke, and you have to prove to yourself that you belong in the major league. And Crosby's done that.
Great change. So he's down on strikes. We have officially added Thursday's game to our television schedule here on FSN. Tomorrow night at 6:30, Wednesday night at 6:30. You can see the pitching matchups. And definitely Thursday at 12:30. You can see all 4 games. (5-3) going to the bottom of the 9th in Texas. Angels. Blaylock, Michael Young, and Mark Teixeira, 3 up
In the bottom of the ninth, Michael Young has just singled off Bartolo Colon, who's gone all the way. Blaylock. Single, I believe it was.
Well, I figured Texas, they knew they were kind of out of this thing when, their bullpen got depleted with that fight here in Oakland. The suspensions, they had to take turns on taking their days off in suspension. Didn't have a full arsenal.
Well, they come back and win that one. They're not out of it.
As we look at that game, Kenny Rogers did go into the eighth, and you're going to stay a little longer with your starting pitchers when you don't have those guys out in the bullpen that you've had all year. You have confidence in. You're not going to bring in the September call-ups, the rookies.
Locked in. So 2 on, and here's Kotsay. Got a first pitch breaking ball and laced it into right field to start the ball game.
Probably kind of confused Jamie Moyer too, because normally a hitter will break a breaking ball, take a breaking ball. You never want to make an out on the first pitch on a slow breaking ball, and Kotsay swung at it. And of course the Oakland A's have this reputation for going deep in the counts, watching a lot of pitches. He swung at that breaking ball, so Jamie has to change his MO a little bit.
A little top jug down low and outside. Base hit into right field. Here's Scudero around third. They're waving him in. Ichiro's throw goes to the cutoff man right there, Lopez, and they tag out Damian Miller at second base. Run comes in to score to make it 2-0. Damian Miller caught in no man's land.
And as I said earlier, Ichiro has to be very cautious on this surface that the football game was just last night. And normally a third baseman will send the guy from second. This is a ground ball. It's not a one-hopper. And Ron Washington, he's waving all the way. Ichiro has to slow down, make sure he catches the ball, knows he doesn't have a chance at the plate, throws it to third behind Miller, the catcher. And of course, those catchers, you got to watch out for them. You got to tell them which way to go all the time.
Eric Burns takes up.
Now that's one of those situations. If you're Damian Miller, you look at that ground ball, it's right to Ichiro. If you're on first base, you're not going to go to third base anyway on Ichiro's arm. You have to wait and see where he throws the ball and then try to sneak into third base. He just wandered off a little bit too far.
Hank Blaylock and Michael Young have singled back-to-back. And Texas has runners at first and second with nobody out in the ninth, and so Colon is pulled. And Troy Percival has come into that ball game. That ball hit deep down the left field line, hugging the line and hooking foul. The last moment.
One thing we do have tonight, Dave, is we have a little breeze blowing in. The ball is not jumping out of the ballpark. It's not a nice sunny day. It's you see, look at the flags, they're blowing out, but this is a Coliseum where it swirls. The wind is blowing in. The ball's not jumping out of the ballpark.
They've had a lovely summer here in the Bay Area, and this is the first real kind of fallish evening that they've had. Way inside. That's Moyer's 20th pitch of the inning. 3-1.
And 39 total. And we said Moyer has struggled a bit with his control. And even the strikes that he's thrown, that's given up the 4 base hits, 5 base hits now, that his location hasn't quite been there.
Looking back, ground ball to third. Cabrera gets the force. So one more here in the second inning for the Athletics. When we come back, it'll be Lopez, Wilson, and Bloomquist. 0-1. Mark Teixeira has just singled in Texas to load the bases. They've had 3 singles, and they've advanced 90 feet each time. So the bases are loaded in Texas. Nobody out. Curveball to Jose Lopez. David DeLucci is at the plate in Texas. One and two. Curveball, and that's hit to left. And right back to the warning track in the wall. Out there to make the catch is Burns. I don't think he knew how close he was to that wall. Eric Burns just went face first into the wall out there.
Well, this ball's hit a ton, and Eric Burns is kind of sashaying back there. Thinks he's got more time and runs right into the wall. The ball carried a little bit farther than he anticipated. It was a breaking ball. Lopez hit it a ton. Certainly not a routine play, and that ball doesn't move.
That's like running into a right hook. Dan Wilson, the hitter. Zito not one of Wilson's favorite pitchers. He's 1 for 17 against him.
And I think he has that big breaking ball in the back of his mind. That's why he swung right through the fastball. And a bad sign for the Mariners. The last 4 breaking balls that Zito has thrown have been for a strike, and once he gets a feel for that pitch, it's a long day for the opposition.
Broken bat down the right field line. David DeLucci in Texas has just popped out to first. Nobody scoring. And Kevin Minch is at the plate with the bases loaded now and 1 down. Man, that was close. Here comes a curveball or a change. It's a change, and it's lined into left field for a base hit. Right over Bobby Crosby. So the current string is snapped at 7 in a row, retired.
And this is right after a fastball inside about 86 miles an hour. You come back with a changeup, and about 82 miles an hour. Dan Wilson hits it, and that's a type of things that you talked about. Chuck Cartier, the Yankee scouts, and Stick Michaels, those guys, they're looking for that velocity change out of Barry Zito if they make it to the playoffs. And Zito over 200 innings now. He doesn't have the blazing fastball late in the year.
Willie Blomquist takes high. Kevin Mench has just popped out to third base. So 2 outs, and the bases remain loaded. And Brian Jordan at the plate down in Texas.
Another good changeup by Zito. And we talk about velocity so much because your fastball sets up those other pitches. And if you don't have a fastball, like we said at the open of 90, 91 miles an hour, Zito's topping out at 88, 86. It gives you a little bit more time as a hitter to make the adjustment.
One and two on Willie Blomquist. Just inside with that cutter. Got that one up a little bit.
I think you have to start to worry a little bit if you're Maka. Of course, managers worry about everything, but your starting three, your big three, they're starting to pile up a lot of innings. And as you see them pitch late in the year, Mulder at 223 innings, 175 for Hudson. Now Zito over 200. Those fastballs start to go down 2 or 3 miles an hour, and those hitters catch up. Those curveball, fastball, there's not enough speed in between, so you get them a little bit the same speed. Makes it a little easier for a hitter.
High pop off the first base side, foul territory. There to make the catch. First baseman Scott Hatteberg. Brian Jordan has just struck out. And Anaheim, as we are talking, is a half a game behind Oakland pending the outcome of this game. And Texas 2.5 back. Well, that's something, isn't it? Loading the bases with 3 consecutive hits. And then rolling ace deuce.
Now that's called relief. Troy Percival came in and put out the fire.
Ichiro fouled out to Chavez in the first. Fastball a little outside.
.372 average to go on along with those 251 hits and a couple of home runs off Barry Zito.
Ground ball to second, and Scudero's got it. So here in the third, a Wilson single, but that's all. When we come back, Chavez, Durazo, and Dye, 2-0. Welcome back to the Network Associates Coliseum down here in Oakland, California. The A's have scored 1 in the first. They've scored 1 in the second. They have the 2-0 lead. Eric Chavez, who had a broken bat base hit in the first, leads it off here and takes strike 1. Anaheim has beaten Texas. Moyer, excellent fielder. Fields his position as well as anybody. Takes care of that one. And so 1 down. Now for our text messaging trivia contest. Question one more time. Whose trade to the Mariners was contingent on Lou Piniella going to Tampa Bay? A, Randy Wynn, B, Raul, or C, Eddie Guardado? On your cell phone, select text messaging, type A, B, or C, and send to number 86212. As you see Durazo stepping up to the plate with one down here in the third and taking down low. For complete rules, you can log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword Northwest, and each text message will cost 50 cents. And then tune in to tomorrow's pregame show to see if you won a Mariners game for 2 on us.
Now, you might think out there that it's unusual that Maka would put 4 left-handers in the lineup against Jamie, but he thinks that takes away the changeup, and of course the changeup's going to run back down and in to a lefty. Everybody knows what that pitch for a lefty is. It's a sweet spot. The changeup usually fades down and in to a lefty, so he has 4 of them in the lineup, including Durazo right there at 3-0 count, and don't assume that he's taken.
Walked him on 4 pitches. In the National League, the Cubs are clobbering Cincinnati 12-3. The Cubs have the rest of their games at home at Wrigley Field after a torturous road trip. And Houston beat the Cardinals, who have the best record in baseball. In the wild card, the Cubs a half game up on the Giants, 1 up on Houston, and 2.5 on San Diego. Pending that outcome, looks like the Cubs are going to have a full game lead. Jermaine Dye taking outside.
Well, the wild card race in baseball instituted out a few years ago made a lot of people happy in a lot of different cities.
And it's made what, 3 or 4 world champions, right? Beginning with the Florida Marlins. Last year was a wild card winner. Year before that was a wild card winner.
Then Angels too.
Year before that, Arizona was a wild card winner.
Might be a good thing to make the wild card, wouldn't it? Now, the thing about baseball's wild card compared to football is there's no disadvantage. You play the same amount of games. You're not automatically on a long road trip, things like that. So you're just starting a new series. 49 big pitches for Jamie. And we can see Jamie struggling a bit with his control. The 2-1 pitch, he wanted his changeup because that's an aggressive pitch. A hitter's ahead in the count. You tend to overswing a little bit, and that's where he wanted to get his ground ball double play.
And a strike on the outside corner.
Jermaine Dye showing his dislike to Kellogg. That ball saying it's off the plate. That's the improper way to tell an umpire it was a ball. You're supposed to whisper.
Moyer coming in, needing 8 innings to hit the magic number as far as he is concerned in innings pitched again, 200 innings. He will get 1 more start. Came in with 192 innings. Now he has 194 and a third. But he's walked his 3rd man.
And as you talk about those innings pitched, that's very important to a starting pitcher. That lets you know that you've been out there, 6 or 7 innings every start.
Again, we have finalized the fact that we will be on television Thursday at 12:30 here on FSN.
Now batting, first baseman,
another one of those left-handers come to the plate in Hatterberg. And normally with a right-hander, you throw your changeup low and away and try to get your ground ball. So that kind of takes the pitch away from Jamie.
He sent Ichiro right to the wall to get his drive in the first. Way inside. 2-1. His location is not with him in this game tonight. Jamie's about, 7 weeks away from his 42nd birthday. Breaking ball, base hit right field. Durazo to third. They will hold him up. So for the second time in 3 innings, the bases are full of Oakland Athletics.
And just what I was talking about, Jamie goes with the big breaking ball. It's over the middle of the plate, but it gets to Ichiro, and you're not going to send a DH in Durazo from second base on Ichiro's arm, even though he doesn't have a good service to field the ball in the outfield. Ron Washington does this. He says, I can't send you on that ball. No way against Ichiro.
Ryan Price out to the mound. And Marco Scudero will be the hitter. Scudero got a pitch out over the plate and lined it into left center field for a base hit. Last inning.
Second baseman
Matt Thornton up and throwing. Strike one. Check swing, didn't want to do it. To first, they come to the plate, get the force there. No throw back to first. De Moyer was covering for the double play. They get the force on Durazo.
I think as a hitter, you're always thinking stay back on Jamie because you're going to get a changeup. Scudero's thinking stay back, stay out of the double play. This breaking ball, check swing. Willie Bloomquist on the run makes a nice shortstop play. He's playing first base today, but you saw the footwork of Willie Bloomquist. A nice throw to the plate. Takes the easier out, going to the plate.
So Crosby the hitter.
I think Jamie would tell you right now when he has great location, a great breaking ball, great changeup, it's pretty easy to go out there and pitch. But the great pitchers find a way to get it done when they don't have great location and great breaking ball. And we've seen Jamie, he's all around the zone. He's not hitting that glove, but he's still hanging on.
Popped him up. Should be the final out. And Willie Bloomquist makes the call and the catch. So here in the third, a threat, but a threat only. The bases remain loaded, and as we go to the fourth, it's still getting set to move into the fourth inning. And good to see you along for your final 6 games, Clyde. with our Aflac trivia question. How many of the following catchers played for the Mariners? Ray Fosse, Steve Yeager, and Lance Parrish. Well, I shouldn't ask a guy that's been here since the beginning that question.
Well, me, of course, I know.
The answer is all of the above. There's Ray. He was at the end of 77 with the Mariners. Ray Fosse. Probably best known for his collision in the All-Star game with Pete Rose.
Yeah, we're all singled out for one occasion in our career, and he got that one, getting run over.
Curve is a dandy to win. 2 strikes. And a fly ball. Probably a little bit too much air under it. Jermaine Dye. Those long strides getting him over there to make that catch rather easily. Edgar was caught looking on strikes in the first. Mariners have had only 1 base runner in this game, and that was Dan Wilson last inning. Right back behind home plate near us, down below.
And I figure if you're going to retire in 7 days, like Edgar, you get a 2-0 fastball, you might as well jump out of your shoes a little bit and try to hit it back to San Francisco.
Got that fastball too, right at the knees.
And every hitter that goes up there, when they get 2 strikes, you know what goes into their head? Uncle Charlie.
There it is. Uncle Charlie came to call him. So 2 away. Dodgers 5-3 over the Rocks at Dodger Stadium. Mr. Beltre, a grand slam home run. Beltre has 48 home run.
Yeah, trying to move his name into that MVP talk, and 2.5 games back San Francisco.
Magic number for the Dodgers now 5.
Yeah, they've got a wild race over there for MVP.
The Giants and the Padres starting a series tomorrow night down at Petco. That's foul off the third base side. San Diego just hanging by a thread in the wild card race, 2.5 back of the Cubs. Well hit, but Kotsay back there makes the catch. 3 up and 3 down has been the story every inning except one for the Mariners, and they trail it. Spinning, and there's the master of the man that can wiggle off the hook. Bases loaded, 1 down. Didn't want to do it. Check swing by Marco Scudero. Force out at the plate for the 2nd out. And then Bobby Crosby fouls out to the first baseman, Willie Bloomquist. Not fouls out, but pops up to Willie Bloomquist, and the inning is over. Great job by Moyer.
And we always talk about if you got great stuff, it's easy to pitch like that. But Jamie somehow found it and made some great pitches to get out of that inning. Bases loaded jam.
Miller a fly ball to center field. about 390 feet away. And here's Mr. Kotze, who's 2 for 2.
Now it seems like all the left-handers got all the hits today, and other than Scudero.
Inside corner strike is called. One of the best located breaking balls that Moyer's thrown to Kotze. Ones in which he's gotten the base hits have been out over the height of the plate. In the dirt with that curve.
Now, when the A's brought Kotze over, you have to give him an A because he's had a good year, 15 home runs, 61 RBIs, but solidified center field. That was their hole.
Line drive into left field, and he's 3 for 3. We're the season to end today, and it's got a week to go. There are your matchups. New York against Oakland. Minnesota against Boston in the division series, a 5-game series. Because New York can't play Boston, Boston are in the same division. That's if it ended today. That could change, definitely.
You know, Jamie's certainly not thinking that Kotze is going to be running. They only have 22 stolen bases on the year out of 45 chances. So these guys don't run the bases a reckless abandon. They wait until the ball's hit.
The inside corner to Eric Burns. See Mr. Wilson move out low and away right before the pitch was delivered, and that's exactly where Moyer threw it. Second out. Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. How many of the following catchers played for the Mariners? Fosse, Yeager, Lance Parrish?
Yeah, I think you gave it away a while ago, didn't you?
That's it, all of them. Yeah.
All three.
Yeah. Here's Chavez now. He's 1 for 2. Strike one.
I think that's the danger of the Oakland A's there to contend with. They had Jamie Moyer on the ropes early in this ball game where he didn't really have control. Now you see him hitting the outside corner. He's starting to feel it a little bit and getting into a rhythm. He's starting to hit his location. Jamie has to feel like he's on the mound. They let the old crafty veteran off the ropes. He was staggered a little bit, a couple body blows, but left him out there long enough so he can find his stuff. Another pitch with perfect location. Didn't want that on the outside corner for a strike. Wanted it just off the plate, giving Chavez a chance to swing at a ball.
How many times did you guess and do that? You swing at strikes.
Oh, the ones that you hit for a home run? No, but strikes are a lot easier to hit than the balls in the dirt and over your head. So.
That's down low and inside.
Yeah, but you can get a base hit off balls off the plate and low and things like that. But, of course, your average is going to go way down. So the percentage of balls you swing at are strikes, I'd say
70%,
to get base hits with 60-70%. But we swing at a lot more balls than that.
Got him on the inside corner with that curveball, and Mr. Chavez not too happy about the call by Jeff Kellogg right there. But the side is out. And welcome back as we go to the 5th inning of play here in Oakland. Booney taking a strike, 1-1 the count. Back on this date, 1985. Interesting thing happened. Booney, a fly ball deep into right center field. Nobody's going to get to that. That baby's going to be off the base of the wall, and Boone will coast into second base with a double. So Brett Boone has the first Mariner extra base hit. My friend Mr. Henderson here, as you get another look at this shot by Boone, and it came on that curveball that he timed perfectly.
Yeah, the big lollipop curveball. Brett Boone lets you know what you're supposed to do with it. Wait, hit it the other way. Big part of the bat on it, hits it off the wall.
350th career double for Brett Boone. And Hobert Cabrera will be the hitter. Nine inside. Back on this date in 1985, Dave Henderson with his 65th career home run in the 8th inning to make him the all-time Mariners home run leader.
Well, you got to figure it was late in the ball game.
Got to figure it was pre-junior then too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Frank Wills surrendered just one hit in a 1-0 victory.
Oh, there you go. 1-0. That's me.
Yeah, that's you. Cabrera pulls it. Foul.
Well, Barry Zito trying to get Cabrera to pull the ball, and that's how you do it. With a right-handed hitter trying to hit the ball to second base, you got to throw him something very off-speed to get that bat around. Cabrera has to know that. Fastballs in, off-speed stuff away to get him to pull the ball so he doesn't hit the second base. Veteran hitter like him, he's got to know Zito's pattern.
One.
There we go. The pattern goes again, and people might call it guessing, Dave, but that's deductive reasoning. When you play baseball a long time, a pitcher has to do that. He's not going to give you a fastball, you know, right down the middle so you can hit the second base, make your job easy. Fastballs in, off-speed stuff away to make you work at it. No guess, just brains.
Down low. Change that time. Back on the 17th, Friday night, Safeco Field. Zito was coasting, and then the Mariners jumped on him for 5 in the 7th inning. The game, the Mariners eventually won 6-3. Fastball, one hopper. Chavez has it off his right hip, stays with it, and throws him out. Bobbled it a little bit. So one down. Get a jump on that trip to Mariners spring training in Arizona next year by visiting www.springtrainingtours.com. You can get pricing on Mariners spring training travel packages or request a brochure. That's www.springtrainingtours.com. Jose Lopez sent Eric Burns crashing into the padded wall in left field, face first, in the 3rd inning.
And I think the important thing was he did hit the big jug, meaning the curveball. So the young kid showing that he can stay back and hit that pitch. There it was again, Dave, but that's a little better location. That one's down around the shins, and I don't think anybody's going to hit that type of breaking ball.
And a shot into left field for a base hit. That'll move Boone only as far as 3rd. So that'll bring up Dan Wilson in time for our text messaging trivia contest. Tonight's question, whose trade to the Mariners was contingent on Lou Piniella going to Tampa Bay? A, Randy Wynn. B, Raul Ibanez. C, Eddie Guardado. On your cell phone, select text messaging, type in A, B, or C, and send to that number 86212. Complete rules, you log on to foxsports.com on MSN. Keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost you 50 cents. Wilson takes high and inside. And then tune into our pregame show tomorrow and see if you won a couple of tickets too. One of the 3 final Mariner games over the weekend against the Texas Rangers at Safeco Field.
Barry Zito in a little hot water here. Down to 2-0. Dan Wilson. Oh, 1st and 3rd action, knows he's got to come up with a big hit. There's Boone on 3rd. Go over to Lopez on 1st.
Inside corner strike. Wilson not too happy with the call. Inside. So 3 balls and a strike. You got to figure it's a fastball count, but as well as this guy throws a curveball, you really can't be 100% sure you're going to get a fastball here.
And he does come with a changeup at this time too to get you out in front because you're looking for that fastball.
But he gets the fastball and hits a high fly ball into deep left center field, and back on the warning track is the left fielder Burns to make the catch, and easily coming in to score is Brett Boone. And we've got a 2-1 ball game. Nice hitting. Dan Wilson, sacrifice fly.
It was nice hitting to work the count to 3-1. Got his fastball. It was a down pitch. Got it up in the air to the outfield. He thought he might have hit this ball out of the ballpark, but I told you there's a little breeze blowing in. Kept it on the warning track for Eric Burns.
Blomquist, a one-hopper, just foul down the left field line.
Lopez with only one attempt over there at first base. Stolen base attempt, that is. And I think the Mariners got to figure out if this kid can run or not. They know he can run. They got to figure out if he has the instincts to steal a base.
Slow curve. Straight change that time from Zito. Fastball and a high towering pop-up into shallow center field, and on the run, Capse makes the catch. The Mariners get the one. So as we go to the bottom half of the fifth, halfway through this one, it's 2-1 Oakland.
And welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum as we go to the bottom half of inning number 5, and the Oakland A's lead by a score of 2-1. Hi again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Dave Valley. And Val, Jamie Moyer's been all kinds of jams, but he's down by only 1 run.
Well, he's found himself in some tough situations. Bases loaded a couple of times, but every inning, runners in scoring position. But he's been able to get out of some tough jams by only giving up 1 run. So Jamie's done a good job of damage control here tonight against the Oakland A's.
So Jamie hanging in there tonight. He'll take a look at Rubio Durazo, Jermaine Dye, and Scott Hanneberg. Mariners get on the board against Barry Zito in the top half of the inning on a sacrifice fly deep to left center field by Dan Wilson. Durazo takes down and away for ball 1. Rubio with a single back to the first, and he walked his last time up in the third. And right now he's been one of the hottest hitters on this Oakland ball club. His last 44 games, he's hitting .360.
And with all the talk of on-base percentage with this Oakland A's ball club, Rubio Durazo has the highest at .395 coming into tonight's ball game.
Infield is turned around to the right side for Durazo. Fouls one back and out of play. The count is even at 1-1. Jamie Moyer's last start, 1 in Anaheim, 7-3 against the Angels. That was his first win since June the 18th when he beat the Pirates 5-4. Pop up down the left field side and foul ground. A long run for Cabrera, and reaches out just off the tip of his glove. Out by the Oakland bullpen mound. He had a long way to go.
That ball did not have a lot of hang time for Holbert to get underneath it. Takes a good route to it. His ball just hitting right off the tip of his glove.
Speaking of a good route, he almost made that catch down around the 5-yard line.
He could have
taken it in. Oh, no way. Here's a look at the outline of the football field. The Oakland Raiders played here last night. There's a look
right
at
there, the old
end zone. Well hit down the right field line and toward the corner. Ichiro to cut it off in front of the warning track to keep Durazo to a leadoff single. Fires a strike into shortstop Jose Lopez. Well, if you want big savings on all of the biggest matchups in 2005, including the Yankees, Red Sox, and interleague showdowns, then lock up your 2005 season ticket package right now. As a Mariners season ticket holder, you could save up to 25% off this single game price. To learn more about becoming a new Mariners season ticket holder, call 206-346-4001 or visit SeattleMariners.com. Jermaine Dye looks at the pitch high for ball one.
Jermaine Dye has made some nice plays out in right field for Barry Zito, robbing Hobert Cabrera of an extra base hit.
Missed a few games recently out with a sprained thumb, and they missed his bat in the lineup. Dye in his last 8 games hitting .387. He missed the previous 16 games before that stretch. Two and one on Dye. Jamie Moyer, his 32nd start of the year. Fouled away, 2-2. Tonight's paid attendance here at the Oakland Coliseum, only 17,199.
This ballpark has always been known for being very underpopulated, even during the heat of a pennant race.
The A's are in first place. They have a game lead starting play tonight over Anaheim. Well hit deep to left field. And this one is gone. Goodbye baseball. Jermaine Dye with his 22nd home run of the year. Straightaway left. A 2-run home run for Jermaine Dye. The A's now lead 4-1.
Jermaine Dye with his 22nd home run of the season and 77 RBIs. Jamie Moyer trying to get in with the little cutter on the hands of Jermaine Dye, but leaves it out on the plate. Jermaine Dye with good power.
Number 22 on the year for Dye. 3 runs batted in for Jermaine tonight. Here's first baseman Scott Hatteberg, ball one.
Scott Hatteberg has found a home for himself here with the Oakland Athletics. Over at first base, he came up as a catcher with the Boston Red Sox. Hatteberg, the toughest guy to strike out in the American League. Just one time every 13 at-bats.
And takes the strike, and the count is 1-2 on Hatteberg, and right now he's struggling offensively. He was just 2 for 31 on the last road trip for an average of only .065. Outside, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But his average is still up there, 291 for the year. A's 4, the Mariners 1. Little pop up, left side of the infield, cutting across. Cabrera's there to make the catch. One out for the A's here in the 5th. Here's a look at the game recap brought to you by Rico. How about Ichiro's at-bats in the first half of this ball game, Val?
That was a tough breaking ball right there from Barry Zito. That's been his bread and butter tonight. Then Zito comes back at him with a fastball. Ichiro just rolls over on a ground ball to the second baseman.
So Ichiro 0 for 2 tonight, right now with 251 base hits for the year. He's due to lead off the next inning for the Mariners. The top half of the 6th. Marco Scutaro with a strike. Scutaro is 1 for 2, singled and scored in the second. Well hit down the left field line, in toward the corner. Gone. Goodbye baseball. Marco Scutaro with his 7th home run of the year. Home runs by Diane Scutaro here in the bottom of the 5th, and the A's now lead 5-1.
Marco Scutaro has had his success off of Jamie Moyer. It's his 7th of the season and the 2nd off of Jamie Moyer's career. Danny Wilson set up inside on the plate. And again, this pitch is just left out over the plate just enough. Scutaro putting a charge in his ball as it goes right down the left field line.
So 3 runs are in for the A's here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Eric Burns jumps off the bench to check out the flight of the baseball. Here's shortstop Bobby Crosby, ball 1. He's now given up 43 home runs this year. Ground ball down the line to backhand it behind the bag. Cabrera. Toss across is going to be in time to get Bobby Crosby. 2 outs for the A's.
Holbert making a nice play to his backhand. He knows he's got time because the ball was hit. He sets up, gets his feet underneath him. Gets off a nice throw to Willie Bloomquist.
Catcher Damian Miller takes down and away, ball 1. Miller 0 for 1. His walk is also flied out to Randy Wynn in center field. Ground ball out to Lopez at short. Jose scoops it up and gets Miller at first base. The A's get 3 and a couple of home runs, and after 5 innings of play, Oakland leads 5. We go to the top half of the 6th inning. The A's lead by a score of 5-1, and Ichiro will lead things off. Ichiro is 0 for 2 on the night, right now with 251 base hits and counting. The major league record 257 by Mr. George Sisler. The guys in front of him, lefty O'Doul at 254, along with Bill Terry and Al Simmons of the old Philadelphia Athletics back in 1925 at 253, and there's Ichiro at 251. Look at that. He went by Rogers Hornsby and Chuck Klein.
Just keeps climbing that ladder.
0-1 the count on Ichiro.
And Rick, when you really look back on it, it's been 84 years. We're watching history being made nightly.
1-1 on Ichiro.
It's one of those things I think you don't really appreciate while it's happening, but the further you get away from it, you start realizing how special what Ichiro is doing.
Ground ball to the shortstop. Bobby Crosby fires the first in time to get Ichiro. 1 out for the Mariners here in the top half of the 6th. And what it also has done, it has reminded us about one of the great players in the game of baseball, and George Sisler, somebody who really hasn't been talked about at all. There's a look at the play by Bobby Crosby, and look at this. The entire nation of Japan is watching Ichiro's every swing.
I don't think
every step.
You think they're missing anything right there?
Nope. The eyes of an entire nation are focused on Ichiro.
I believe we heard the title, or the total of 112 new press passes were asked for today here.
I believe it. Here's the guy who's chasing George Sisler. How about this season he put together in 1920? He batted .407 with the 257 base hits. Look at those. 19 home runs, 122 RBIs, and he stole 42 bases.
And you know what? He probably didn't even get a raise the next year.
He played for the St. Louis Browns.
Just back then, they'd say, you know what? If you do it again, we'll talk.
Randy Wynn, the hitter. Randy is 0 for 2. And I think one of the reasons why, even though he was such a great player, that you haven't heard too much about George Sisler is that he played in the day when everybody talked about Babe Ruth and Rogers Hornsby and Ty Cobb and Walter Johnson and Christy Mathewson. But Sisler was one of the all-time great players. He hit 400 twice. He had a career batting average, Val, of .340.
Wow. I think I hit 341 month. My career. Let me ask you though. Okay, you look back at some of those pictures. of the guys in the 1900s, the 1910s, the 1920s.
Yeah.
And you see the gloves that they use.
How in the world did they catch with it?
Now, how was a hit rated back then? You know what I mean?
Well hit ball, and Randy Wynn pulls it foul down the left field side in the count 3-2 on Wynn.
Because nowadays, you know, we've seen some great plays just here tonight, but the diving play by the shortstop to his backhand, you don't make that play with those gloves.
The outfielders. Remember Luis Polonia? His glove was the size of a bushel basket. Those guys had those little bitty things. The fingers weren't attached with strings. Inside on Randy Wynn for ball 4. So the Mariners have a base runner with one out here in the top half of the 6th.
They were more like just like a mitten, right? Just little,
yeah,
like a batting glove, like what today's batting glove is, or like a long glove. You know those gloves you use when you're cutting trees down or whatever.
A little bit better than that. Here's designated hitter Poppy, Edgar Martinez. But I know I've learned a heck of a lot about George Sisler. I worked for his son, George Sisler Jr. in Columbus, Ohio. He was the general manager of the Columbus Clippers, the Yankees AAA farm club in the International League. George Sisler's Sr.'s son, Dave Sisler, is still alive. George is still alive in Columbus. Dave Sisler still makes his home in St. Louis. He pitched in the major leagues. Inside on Edgar. Ball 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. And even George Sisler Sr. pitched in the major leagues. I think he pitched in 24 games and twice beat the great Walter Johnson. Edgar with a swing and a miss, and the count is 1-2. Edgar's season and career winding down with 6 games left to go. For one of the great players to put on a Mariner uniform. Inside, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And we're going to celebrate Edgar's career on October the 2nd, Saturday after the ball game. And by the way, remember, Saturday's game against Texas at Safeco Field will start at 5:35. And we'll have full coverage on FSN, including the ceremonies, right after the game. Line drive, base hit into left center field for Edgar. Randy Wynn. The turn at second, heads for third, makes it easily. The throw will go into second base from Mark Kotsay. So Edgar aboard. First and third with one out here in the top half of the 6th. Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by GMC. We are professional grade. By Sterling Savings, the perfect fit bank. By Dairy Farmers of Washington. Just reach for milk, cheese, and yogurt with the 3-a-day symbol for healthy moms and healthy kids. And by Tire Factory, with over 170 locally owned stores. Trust what you love to Tire Factory. 5-1 Oakland, top half of the 6th inning. The Mariners have runners at first and third for Raul Ibanez. A ground ball to Hatteberg. A run will score. Throw down to second for the force there on Edgar Martinez. And on the play, Randy Wynn scores from third. Ibanez safe at first base on a fielder's choice and picks up a run batted in. It's now the A's 5 and the Mariners 2. Runner at first with 2 outs, and here's second baseman Brad Boone, who doubled off the base of the wall in right center field, leading off the 5th inning, and scored on a sacrifice fly to left center field by Dan Wilson.
Boone's had some good bats off of Zito here tonight. Put a nice swing on the ball in his first at bat, driving Mark Kotsay all the way back to the warning track. And that second one was the double off the right center field wall. Boone really one of the few Mariners hitting for extra base power. Mariners have got an awful lot of hits this entire road trip, and have pieced them together and scored some runs.
Well, how about this? The Mariners are 4-2 on this road trip. They have scored 46 runs going into tonight's game in 6 games, averaging a little over 7.5 runs a game. They've collected 89 base hits, 15 hits a game. So So they have jump-started the offense late in the year. Fly ball, center field deep. Kotsay going back to the warning track, and he's there to make the catch. For out number 3, the Mariners get 1, and we go to the bottom of the 6th. A's lead 5-2. 5-2, bottom of the 6th inning. Mark Kotsay leads it off against a new pitcher. Left-hander Matt Thornton takes over in relief and tosses a strike. Here are the numbers for Thornton.
Thornton has appeared in 16 ball games with a 4.60 ERA, record of 1-2.
Line drive, base hit the other way, and Mark Kotsay is 4 for 4 tonight for Oakland. Leadoff single here in the bottom half of the 6th.
That's 4 for 4 off of 2 left-handers. He got Jamie Moyer for 3 hits, Matt Thornton for 1. This guy is a big reason at the top of that batting order. Keeps a nice short stroke, taking that barrel of the bat right to the ball.
Done a nice job defensively in center field, coming over during the offseason in a trade from the San Diego Padres. Mark Kotsay 4 for 4. Here's Eric Burns with a swing and a foul tip into Dan Wilson's glove. 0-1. Kotsay, by the way, was hitting .343 at home coming into tonight's game.
Kotsay, the leadoff hitter, good speed, but he only has 8 stolen bases. Not part of the philosophy of this Oakland A's ball club to steal.
As a team, they have only 45 stolen bases.
And Eric Burns has 16. He's 16 for 17. Stolen base attempts.
He has most of them. When the A's were doing a whole lot of winning, going to World Series 3 years in a row in 88, 89, and 90, they had a fellow by the name of Ricky Henderson. Stealing some bases in the early 80s when Ricky first came up.
Different philosophy back then.
Line foul. Just a little.
Ricky Henderson with the most stolen bases in baseball history. Had a great story. Harold Reynolds, the stolen base champion for the Seattle Mariners back in the 80s.
87.
Harold had 60 and led the league. And after the season, Ricky Henderson called up Harold and said, Ricky has 60 by the All-Star break, and hung up the phone.
Harold just said, yeah, who's the leader this year? But then one season he set the major league record for most steals in a season. Ricky had 130 stolen bases.
There's always that great commercial as you take a look at Keita getting ready down in the Mariner bullpen. Commercial about the catcher watching video of Ricky Henderson stealing bases, and he's sweating. I have to tell you, as a former catcher.
Swing and a miss by Burns for strike 3. So Matt Thornton with a strikeout. 1 on and 1 away. Well, time now for Banner Bank, building to the future. How about Cha Sung-baek yesterday? The young man from South Korea was spectacular, shutting out the Texas Rangers. He went 8 scoreless innings, Val.
Beck did a great job yesterday spotting that fastball, throwing his breaking balls over the plate for a strike. This is the finest performance that we have seen so far from Cha Sung-baek.
Eric Chavez with a pop-up on a play on the left field side. And the count is 0-1 on Eric. But what about complete the story with Harold?
About Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson.
You know, there was always a feeling when you were catching against the Oakland Athletics at that time that if you could get Ricky out at first hitter, there was like a sigh of relief. Because he also, I mean, he was a 300 hitter. He walked a lot.
Yeah.
So anytime you can get him out to lead off the game, it was just a nice sigh of relief. But when he was on, you were very aware of the fact that he was there. And your chances of throwing him out were not very good.
0-2 the count on Eric Chavez. Chavez, you see, 1 for 3 with a single back in the first inning. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 6th. A's lead 5-2. Down and away for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Matt Thornton taking over in relief. Jamie Moyer going the first 5 innings. Gave up 5 runs on 10 hits. He walked 3 and struck out 3. Hop-up out of play, off to our left, almost in the booth, and the count is still 1-2 on Eric Chavez. Speaking of Ricky, Ricky's still playing in that independent league in Newark. The Newark Bears at the age of, what, 46. Still was hoping at the trade deadline of getting a big league job. Didn't happen. Little chopper fouled away left side of home plate, and the count still 1-2 on Chavez. Seahawks yesterday winning, shutting out the San Francisco 49ers 34-0.
Congratulations.
3-0 to start the year.
You're looking good.
Down and away, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tough hitter right here, even though he's struggling. Last 20 games, Chavez is hitting just 197. But you make a mistake middle in and watch out. Ooh, fouled away. Still 2-2.
Eric Chavez got that big high kickstand. That front leg lifting straight up and down. One of the mechanisms that helps him keep his weight back.
Ground ball, base hit into right field. A single for Chavez. Down to second base goes Kotsay, and the A's have runners at first and second with 1 down. Well, time now for our text messaging trivia contest. Tonight's question: whose trade to the Mariners was contingent on Lou Piniella going to Tampa Bay? Was it A, Randy Wynn, B, Raul Ibanez, or C, Eddie Guardado? Now here's how to play. On your cell phone, select text messaging, type A, B, or C, and send to number 86212. For complete rules, log on to foxsports.com on MSN. Keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost 50 cents. Tune in to Tuesday's pregame show to see if you've won a Mariners game for 2 on us. Here's designated hitter Rubio Durazo. Durazo 2 for 2 tonight, a couple of singles. One of the top DHs in the league, along with Hafner and Sweeney. Edgar Martinez retiring after this season. One and 0 on Durazo. Chavez at first, Kotsay down at second, 1 out. Up and in, ball 2.
And as you look at those 3 guys who are probably the heir apparents to the best designated hitter in the American League.
History.
It's going to take many, many years for them to accomplish what Edgar Martinez has accumulated over the course of his phenomenal career.
A couple of batting titles. The consistency. The 300+ career batting average. Fouled away by Durazo, and the count goes to 2-1. A long way to match his class. Time call. Durazo saw shortstop Jose Lopez break in behind the runner at second base, Kotsay. Kotsay had to get back to the bag. Low, ball 3, 3-1. The Oakland A's, Val, trying to get to the playoffs for the 5th consecutive year. Over the last 4 years, they haven't gotten out of the first round with all that pitching, the big 3. They've been able to get there, but they haven't been to the American League Championship Series the last 4 years. And a strike on DeRozzo. The count is full, 3-2. The Boston Red Sox winning tonight in Tampa Bay 7-3. They've clinched the playoff spot. There's the look by DeRozzo, the wide eyes of Rubio DeRozzo thinking, hey, wasn't that ball four? No.
A look of disbelief.
And that is, though, and he walks, and the A's have the bases loaded with one out. They have had base runners all over the place tonight. And here comes manager Bob Melvin out of the dugout. A right-hander down to the bullpen warming up, getting ready. That's it for Thornton. And as the change is made, stay with us. We'll be back after this timeout. We're at the bottom of the 6th inning here in Oakland. The A's lead by a score of 5-2. They've got runners at first, second, and third with only one away. Some interesting headgear here. Anaheim in Texas. Huge win for the Angels, 5-3 over the Rangers. Boston in Tampa Bay. The Red Sox, we mentioned, have won that ball game by a score of 7-3. So that eliminates the Rangers from the wild card. And here's a look at the current standings of the American League East. Boston 3 back of the Yankees, and their magic number is 1 to clinch the wild card. The new pitcher Masao Kita on in relief with a bases loaded, and it's ball 1 the count on Jermaine Dive. The 1-1. Jermaine Dive with a 2-run home run. His last time up in the bottom of the 5th inning. The numbers for Kita.
Kita in 5 games with a 6.43 ERA. 4 strikeouts in 7 innings. Looking for that ground ball double play.
Broken bat, ground ball, Cabrera. Down to second for 1. Booney's relay to first is in time for the double play. And the Mariners get out of a bases loaded jam. After 6 innings of play, the A's lead 5-2. The 7th inning, A's lead by a score of 5-2. Bases loaded, 1 out in the bottom of the 6th inning, and Masao Kita gets out of a jam with a double play ball. Look at this. Broken bat, ground ball to Cabrera at third. Look how quickly that Boone gets rid of the ball.
Eric Chavez doesn't know where to go. He's looking out for the lumbers coming. The ball's coming from Holbert Cabrera's throw. Booney, nobody turns a double play like Brett Boone.
Holbert Cabrera leading off the top of the 7th inning with a strike, 0-1. We have the barrel of the bat going off to the left side of Cabrera. Holbert had to concentrate on the ground ball. Eric Chavez coming down the line. Cabrera
bats and balls flying everywhere.
A whole lot of stuff going on there between second and third. I love the way Boone got rid of the ball so quickly. Good second baseman, basically, if he's quick, just changes the direction of the flight of the ball. Broken bat, ground ball to Chavez. And Cabrera is out at first base, so 1 away for the Mariners here in the top of the 7th inning. Seattle Mariners baseball is brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers. Get the feeling Toyota. By Money Tree, your cash solution. By G.I. Joe's, your sports and auto store with 22 locations throughout the Northwest. And by Geico, the sensible alternative. Rick Riz along with Dave Valley. Here's shortstop Jose Lopez way outside. Ball 1. Jose 1 for 2 with a single to left field in the 5th inning. Robbed of an extra base hit in the 3rd when Eric Burns made the catch, collided with the wall in straightaway left field.
Tremendous play. He never slowed down. Ran full speed into that wall. But Jose Lopez swinging a hot bat, had 4 RBI yesterday. Driving the ball. This kid's going to be a player. He's a player right now, but he's really going to be a player.
It's only 20. There's a soft line drive and a base hit in left center field. So Lopez is 2 for 3. Jose gets aboard with 1 out here in the 7th.
I think the thing I'm most impressed with Jose is not just the way he's been swinging the bat, but the way he's handling himself out on the field. It's not easy being a shortstop in the major leagues, and especially at the age of 20. This young man has handled himself extremely well out there.
Well, you can't teach a kid bat speed. You either have it or you don't.
He's got it.
That kid can turn around a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
He's got it.
Here's catcher Dan Wilson. Dan swinging the bat real well last couple of weeks. Ball one to count. Singled in the third. Drove in a run with a sacrifice fly his last time up in the fifth. He's had a very good road trip. 8 for his last 15. Ball 2. The A's having a rough time in September. Usually they're a great club in September down the stretch. They have a team ERA of 5.24 in September. Hop up out of play on the first base side. 2-1.
And that has always been their strength. Whenever you talk about the Oakland A's, you always talk about their pitching, the big three, but they have struggled. Barry Zito now at 100 pitches for the evening. But it was the Texas Rangers who beat the big three. 1, 2, 3 down in Texas.
Fouled away by Dan, and the count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. In September in 2000, the A's were 21-7. 2001, 17-4, and 2002, 18-8. Last year, 14-11. This year, they're 10-14.
But they're still holding on.
There.
Not one of the teams, the Texas Rangers, Angels, or A's, have really pulled away.
Popped up again and out of play. It's still 2-2 on Dan.
And the Mariners have been a big part of that. Mariners,
yeah, the Mariners played well here.
12-11 against the contenders this month.
There's teams like Boston, Anaheim, Oakland, and Texas. Old foul. Still 2-2. A's lead 5-2. Top of the 7th inning. 1 on, 1 away.
Dan Wilson having a great road trip. A couple of relievers getting loose down in the Oakland A's bullpen. Ricardo Rincon and Chad Bradford.
Ground ball down the line, fair, backhanded. Chavez, the throw to first low, and Hannibal can't pick it. Dan Wilson hustling up that line. Chavez with a nice play in behind the bag at third base for the low throw, and that's going to be a base hit for Dan Wilson. It sends Lopez down to second.
Chavez gets his ball to his backhand. He's got time, but he plants and throws. This ball just short hopping Scott Hatteberg. That's a play most first basemen will make. Nice little short hop right there. Hatteberg can't come up with it.
Usually he does, but not that time, and the Mariners get a break because it'll bring the tying run to the plate. Time is called. Pitching coach Kurt Young out to the mound. I have a talk with Barry Zito. Zito over 100 pitches, pitching into the 7th inning. We'll take a look at first baseman Willie Blomqvist.
Kind of surprised they gave him a base hit right there. Chavez, a Gold Glove third baseman. Ball beat him. He just threw it in the dirt.
Danny getting up the line quickly. Willie Blomqvist faced Barry Zito in college when Willie was at Arizona State and Zito at USC. I said, yeah, I took him deep in college. Inside on Willie, ball 1. So these guys have a little bit of history going back a few years. Willie's 0 for 2 tonight. Has popped up to Hatteberg at first base. And has also flied out to Kotze in center.
Well hit down the left field line. This one is gone. Goodbye baseball. Willie Blomqvist, second home run of the season. He took him deep in college, and he takes them deep in the regular season. And he ties the game at 5-5. Number 2 for Willie Blomqvist, a line drive home run down the left field line, scoring Lopez, and Dan Wilson out in front of him. How about that?
And this is the one that counts, the one in college most people are going to forget except for Willie. But this is a big one right here. Zito trying to come in with that fastball, just leaves it thigh high, middle of the plate. And Willie puts a charge into this ball.
Man.
This ball goes a long way in a short amount of time. Ball gets up over the walkway out there in straightaway left field.
And here is Ichiro looking for his first base hit tonight. So the Mariners have tied it at 5-5. And how big is that play now of Dan Wilson's hustle infield base hit? Fouled away down the left field side by Ichiro, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The low throw by Chavez. Hannibal cannot pick it. So Dan is safe on the infield base hit, following the base hit by Lopez, and then Blomquist's home run. Ichiro with a ground ball base hit into right field, and there's base hit number 252, and he's close enough to George Sisler right now to shake his hand. Ichiro only 6 hits away from breaking the major league record for hits in a single season. Sisler has the mark at 257.
This pitch is on the ground. Ichiro gets a big breaking ball from Zito. Stays with it. Incredible hand-eye coordination. That ball drops about 5 feet. Ichiro staying with it and just lacing a ground ball through the right side.
Number 252 for Ichiro. Randy Wynn with a swing and a miss, 0-1. So a brand new ball game with a 3-run home run by Willie Blomquist to tie the game at 5. Randy Wynn walked and he scored a run in the 5th inning.
Rick, you were talking about how the Oakland A's pitching staff has really struggled here in the month of September.
Fly ball into right field, right at Jermaine Dye, and he's there to make the catch. 2 outs. Ichiro heads on back to first base. An ERA of over 5 in September, Val, when their ERA for the year is just over 4, and second best in the American League. Ichiro 1 for 4. He's on at first.
And if you asked before the ball game if Barry Zito was spotted 5 runs, what their chances of winning that ball game would be.
Well, that's going to be it for Barry Zito tonight. Manager Ken Maka out to the mound to make the move, and a right-hander Chad Bradford will take over in relief, and we'll be back after this time. A's 5, the new pitcher, submarine style right-hander Chad Bradford. Mariners have Ichiro on at first base with 2 outs, and 3 runs are in on the home run by Willie Blomquist.
Bradford 5-7 with a 4.47 ERA, 34 strikeouts and 58 in a 3rd innings. Sinker slider guy coming from down under.
Here's designated hitter Edgar Martinez. Takes ball 1. This direct connect call to the bullpen brought to you by Nextel. Back home in Seattle on September the 17th, the Mariners and the Oakland A's. Fly ball into right center field and deep. Jermaine Dye going back to the warning track is there to make the catch for out number 3. The Mariners get 3 on the home run by Willie Blomquist to tie the game, and we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Mariners 5 of the 1-1 on Hatterberg. He'll be followed by Marco Scutaro and then Bobby Crosby. This ball game now belongs to Masao Kita. Ball 2, 2-1. Kita came on with the bases loaded and 1 out for Matt Thornton in the bottom half of the 6th inning. He got Jermaine Dye to bounce into an inning-ending double play. All 3-1. Willie Blomquist in the top half of the 7th inning with a 3-run line drive home run off of Barry Zito to tie the game. There's a look at Willie, his 2nd home run of the year. Line drive left center, and right there to make the catch, Raul Ibanez. 1 out for the A's here in the 7th inning. Well, the Mariners and the A's continue the series tomorrow night. Game 2 of the 4-game set. Gil Mesh against Tim Hudson. Bobby Madrich and Rich Harden lock horns on Wednesday. Then we're going to have the game on FSN Thursday afternoon. Game time is 12:30. Ryan Franklin against Mark Redmond. So we've added the final game of the 4-game series here in Oakland to our television schedule. Second baseman Marco Scudero. Line drive, foul down to the catcher of the Oakland A's bullpen.
And just hit that outside corner right there.
Hit a strike. Heads up down there. Look at this.
Just a bit outside.
Luckily, Ricardo Rincon didn't fire a pitch. Up and in, 1-1. Marco Scudero with a solo home run his last time up in the 5th inning. He's 2 for 3. Scudero's a little guy, but Val, he's way down on that bat handle. Little finger is underneath the knob of the bat.
Batters will do that. It'll give them the feeling that they're getting a little bit more whip in it. You'll see his left pinky underneath the knob of the bat. The guy who was the most extreme was Julio Franco, who would actually keep 3 of them, if you can believe that, off of the bat, holding it only with his thumb and index finger with his left hand.
Pop up and just beyond the reach of Willie Bloomquist over at first base. 1-2 on Scudero. A lot of foul ground here at the Oakland Coliseum. Willie had to run out of bounds to try to get to this one.
One of the characteristics of Willie Bloomquist's game is that all-out hustle. Regardless of where he's playing, you know you're getting 100% effort from this guy.
Still see the yard line markers, the outline of the Raiders football field they played last night. Pop up third base side. Cabrera at the 15, the 10, the 5, and he's there to make the catch at the 5-yard line. So 2 outs for the A's here in the 7th inning.
It was a safety, right? Wrong for safety catch. Fair catch.
It's touchdown. Took it in. So 2 outs for the A's. 5-5 tie, and here's shortstop Bobby Crosby.
That football game really did take its toll on this field.
Field looks terrible. Bleachers have been out there for 2 Saturdays for the last 8 days. It really chewed up the grass out there, and especially in straightaway center field. Also,
you can see that discoloration all the way across the outfield.
1-1 on Bobby Crosby. So the stands were out there for 8 solid days and did a lot of damage to the grass. They played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night. The Buffalo Bills a week ago Sunday. Ground ball to Cabrera at third. Toss across is in time to get Bobby Crosby for out number 3, and we go to the top half of the 8th here in Oakland, tied at 5. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the expressed written consent of the Seattle Mariners. 5-5 tie, top of the 8th inning. Ricardo Rincon on in relief. Ollie Banez with a swing and a foul back and out of play. 0-1.
Rincon with a fastball that's up around 90 to 92 miles an hour and a slider. He's got a 1-0 record and a 3.70 ERA. And a workhorse down in that Oakland A's bullpen with 63 appearances.
0-2. Raul 0 for 3 tonight, but has a run batted in with a fielder's choice. He got the big rally going yesterday down in Texas with a leadoff home run in the top half of the 2nd, his 16th of the year. Mariners scored 4 runs for Cha Sung-Beck early in that ball game. Nobody saw that game coming out of Cha Sung-Beck. 8 scoreless innings and gave up only 3 hits. He was 1-4 going into the game with a 7.43 ERA. He was sensational. Ground ball back up the middle. Diving stop. Scudero from a knee, and he gets Ibanez at first base. Holy smokes. What a play by Oakland A's second baseman, Marco Scudero.
Scudero with a great diving play to his backhand, but what's most impressive, look how strong his throw is. And it's right on the money to Scott Hatteberg. 3 steps and a full out dive. Very impressive right there.
Got a lot on that throw from his right knee, and here's Brett Boone with ball 1. Ibanez robbed of a base hit.
Boone's hit the ball hard 3 times tonight. He's got a double and a run to show for it.
It went off the base of the wall in right center field, right underneath the 388 marker. Ball 2.
He's going to get his money's worth right here.
Oh, pop some buttons. 2-0 count.
See if Rincon's going to come in with that fastball. Probably try to stay away from him. Looks like they may have gone to an off-speed pitch.
Yep. Anthony's first strike, 2-1.
Go fastball away.
And missed down and away for ball 3, 3-1. Val, over the last few years, do you see more and more pitchers going with off-speed pitches and fastball counts?
I think that's really been the reputation of the American League. More of a breaking ball type of league. I don't think it's really increased any more than when I was playing.
Down and away for ball 4. So Brett Boone is on with a walk, and the Mariners have the go-ahead run at first base here in the top half of the 8th. Well, time now for our text messaging trivia contest. Tonight's question: whose trade to the Mariners was contingent on Lupinella going to Tampa Bay? Was it Randy Wynn, Raul Ibanez, or Eddie Guardado? Here's how to play on your cell phone. Select text messaging, type A, B, or C, and send to number 86212. For complete rules, log on to foxsports.com on MSN, keyword Northwest. Each text message will cost 50 cents. Tune into Tuesday's pregame show to see if you won a Mariners game for 2 on us. That's going to be it for the left-hander, Ricardo Rincon. Manager Kenny Mock out to make the pitching change. And a right-hander will take over in relief, Justin Dukeshire. A 5-5 tie. We'll be back after this time. Runner at first, 1 out, top of the 8th. Game tied at 5.
Dukeshire, fastball, curveball, changeup, and has a little cutter he'll use in.
Little hit and run, throw down to second. Now in a rundown, Ibanez, Scudero to Hatteberg, Hatteberg to Crosby, to Hatteberg, and Ibanez corralled in the line, or rather Brett Boone corralled in the line between first and second. Boney is out, number 2. The hit and run was on. 0-1 the count on Cabrera. So it's going to go in the book as a caught stealing, but it was an attempt at the hit and run.
Looked like Dukeshire threw a little cutter off the plate. Perfect pitch for a catcher to throw on.
Breaking ball away, bounces in, 1-1.
Dukeshire with a 3.40 ERA, 58 strikeouts in 92 innings. Very good control.
Pop up. Left center field, cutting across Katse. Mark is there and makes the catch for out number 3. And we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning here in Oakland. Mariners have the A's all tied at 5-5. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Mariners with a big home run tonight by Willie Bloomquist, and the Oakland A's have a couple of home runs by Jermaine Dye and Marco Scudero-Val in the bottom of the 5th inning. Here's Dye.
Both real similar pitches off to Jamie Moyer. Jamie trying to get in on the hands of Jermaine Dye. Leaves it out over the plate, and Dye deposits it over the left field wall. Scudero trying to throw that cutter in on his hands. Again, leaves it out over the plate, and Marco Scudero hits his 2nd home run off of Jamie Moyer in just 8 at-bats.
Rubio Durazo will lead things off, and Dye is on deck. We have some defensive changes for the Mariners as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning, even at 5. Scott Spezio is now at first base, and Greg Dobbs is at third. So Ron Vallone, who had a scoreless 8th inning, will take a look at Durazo, Dye, and Hatteberg here in the bottom of the 9th. Middle third of the order for manager Ken Macha's ball club. Way out in front of the plate, bounces in, ball 1. Durazo 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and 2 walks. The Angels have won tonight. They beat the Rangers. They came from behind to beat the Rangers in Texas 5-3. Check swing and a strike on Durazo. 1-1. So right now the Angels are very big Seattle Mariner fans. The Angels starting play tonight 1 game behind the A's in the West. Ball 2, 2-1 on Durazo. Jamie Moyer started this ball game, went 5 innings, followed by Matt Thornton, Masao Kita, and Ron Vallone. Kita got the Mariners out of a bases loaded 1-out jam in the 6th inning. Hop up left field line, long run for Lopez and Dobbs, and dropping the ball out there in left field. Ibanez had it, throw to second. Durazo safe. Collision between Ibanez and Lopez. Down the left field line, just inside fair territory. Raul Ibanez coming in. Looked like he had it, but Lopez with the bump. And now the A's have the go-ahead run at second base.
You saw Jose Lopez take a quick look over his shoulder. He's yelling, "I got it, I got it." I don't think Raul Ibanez could hear him.
It was off the glove of Lopez and not Ibanez.
That's where that communication is so important. When both guys are going full speed, it's tough to be able to yell loud enough as they're both converging on that ball.
And that's going to be it for Ron Vallone. Lopez, it looked like, had it for just a second, but then the collision with Lopez and Ibanez, and Durazo's on at second. That's going to be it for Vallone, and right-hander Julio Mateo will take over in relief. Well, Friday has the makings of a magical evening out at Safeco Field as Ichiro has his sights set on a record that has stood for over 80 years. You can come watch his pursuit or be there for his first Safeco Field at bat as the new record holder. Either way, it's going to be a very special addition to Fan Appreciation Night on Friday night. Tickets are still available. Visit SeattleMariners.com. They are going to call that a double. It is a double down the left field line off the bat of Rubio Durazo. And here's Julio Mateo.
Julio taking over for Ron Vallone with the 1-2 record and a 4.91 ERA. Julio 43 strikeouts over 55 innings. Just recently taken off of the disabled list. Julio is going to get a chance to face Jermaine Dye. Ken Macha choosing not to have a pinch runner for Rubio Durazo out at second base.
Yeah. And here's Dye. Sure, he has some options on that bench. Jermaine Dye against Mateo, 1 for 9. There's Durazo at second base, 5-5 tie, bottom half of the 9th. 0-1 on Dye. Sacrifice fly for Dye in the first, walked in the third, hit the 2-run home run in the fifth, bounced into a double play in the sixth. That was with the bases loaded. Ground ball to the right side. Brett Boone up with it. And his throw to Spezio is in plenty of time to get Dye, but it advances Durazo. So the winning run is now on at third base with 1 out. Dye just kind of reaching out, hitting that ball on the ground to the right side. And now the Mariners will have to play in close for a play at the plate. In a 5-5 tie, and Scott Hatteberg is due up next. Left-hander warming up down to the bullpen. And they're going to take the bat away from Hatteberg. So there is ball 1. So Bob Melvin says put him on, intentionally walk him, because the A's already have the winning run on at third base. And due up next is Marco Scutaro, the right-handed bat.
You've got to get yourself in a position where a ground ball double play can take you out of the inning. Still surprised that Durazo is on the run at third base.
Because now a healthy fly ball can win the ball game. But Durazo not fleet of foot. He's on at third. So here is ball 4, and Hatteberg tosses the bat away. He's on at first base. First and third now for the A's. 1 out. The game is even at 5, and now we're going to have a pinch runner. Esteban Herman will take over at third base for Durazo. So Herman is at third with 1 out. And the batter is Marco Scutaro. And they're going to take the bat away from Scutaro as well. So Scutaro will get the intentional walk. Bob Melvin says put him on. You already have the righty-righty situation, but Bob Melvin says, well, we want to take our chances with Bobby Crosby. But it forces Mateo to throw strikes, and strikes in a hurry. So Scutaro in the process of getting intentionally walked here. That'll send Hatteberg down to second base. Herman, the pinch runner, already at third, running for a Rubio Durazo. So the bases will be loaded with 1 out for shortstop Bobby Crosby, who is 0 for 4 tonight. He's grounded out only once. And there's ball 4. So the bases are full of Oakland A's. 1 down, and catcher Dan Wilson goes out to the mound bound to talk things over with Julio Mateo.
Danny Wilson just going over their game plan to go after Crosby. Infield will be in. The play will be at home. Dave Meyer trying to get the attention, talking to Greg Dobbs. If it's to your backhand, you're going to step on third and then go for the double play.
So everybody up close around the infield. Here's Bobby Crosby, who is 0 for 4, a 5-5 tie here in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Down and away, ball 1. Crosby has struck out, popped up, grounded out to third twice. So he's bounced out twice.
He'll take a pop up here too.
That'll work
in the infield.
Mateo's 1-0 pitch. Fly ball into right field and deep. Ichiro going back to make the catch, tagging Herman. The throw to the plate. He's going to score easily. The ball game is over. The Oakland A's win it 6-5 here in the bottom half of the 9th inning on a sacrifice fly to right field by Bobby Crosby, and the A's take game 1 of the 4-game series, and they remain 1 game up on the Anaheim Angels in the American League West.
Bobby Crosby, one of the top runners in the American League Rookie of the Year, comes through big time here late in the season for the Oakland Athletics.
So Bobby Crosby with a game-winning RBI. Sacrifice fly to right field to score the pinch runner Esteban Herman. And in the bottom of the ninth inning, the Oakland A's win tonight. A final score of 6-5. So for Dave Valley, Dave Niehaus, and David Henderson, I'm Rick Riz saying so long, everybody, from the Oakland Coliseum. The Northwest Sports Report begins in 30 seconds.